wasn't a vintage dominant performance from Max, Sherry, but I certainly feel better about things. What did you see from Scherzer last night?
Yeah, like you said, I'm not broken. That was the thing for him that he did that, you know, even at his age, you have to be self-aware on what you're doing, how you're being affected, because that's how you make adjustments, is you understand what's going on. But the one thing that I saw that could be a little tip to vintage Max Scherzer is his fastball dominance. It may not have had the high velocity, but it had that late life on it. He made the adjustment. They weren't chasing the breaking balls off the plate, so he started filling it up because they were sitting breaking ball. And he was getting some big swings and misses in the zone with the fastball anywhere from 91, and he popped some 94s on there, but he didn't need the velocity. He had the life. They were sitting off speed and even missing some of those fastballs in fastball counts. That's when Max Scherzer has that, like, unhittable 20 strikeout, no-hitter type stuff. Every time he's out there is when that fastball has that late life, and that, for I think it was like the third inning on, he really had that working for him.
Without a doubt, a step in the right direction for Max Scherzer. I don't think any of us believe he's quote-unquote broken, but let's not go nuts about this start. 5 innings. I mean, Max Scherzer, for the Mets to go and be a team that's playing in the World Series this year, I need Max Scherzer getting back to going 6 and 7 innings. And this was a grind for him, there's no doubt. So to me, I want to see that fastball velocity. I want to see him go deeper into games. I understand the Padres, they may have the best lineup in the National League, or at least they're one of the best lineups in the National League. I'm not looking at this start and throwing a parade if I'm a Met fan, but what I'm saying is it beats the alternative of what we saw in Milwaukee last week, and it sure beats what we saw last year in October when Max Scherzer got absolutely shellacked by the Padres. But that length and that fastball velocity, that'll be the moment for me, Sal, where I see Max Scherzer and say, okay, Max is back.
I think it's fair. And had he not had a better outing yesterday, I think we are thinking, you know, eventually he's going to be broken, or eventually Father Time is undefeated.
Right.
So he might not be as effective. If he wasn't as good as he was last night, I think this is a different conversation that we're having. I think it's one of those things where we're like, maybe he is broken, but it is a positive sign. And I agree with you, JJ, that he doesn't, it's not Max and what you're paying for until he starts going 6+, but I think we're right there.
Yeah, I said last night before we signed off the air that I wanted over 6, meaning over 6 innings, and under 2 or fewer runs allowed. Well, he got the runs part right. He didn't go the distance, but I mean, consider the alternative. He could have very easily gone out there and given up 3 runs in 5 or 6 innings. That wouldn't have been good. He needed a shutdown performance. We saw that from Max, and that does ease whatever concerns Met fans may have had. Let's make the call to the bullpen and go live to Citi Field to welcome in Steve Gelb. Steve, you know, I didn't love that Scherzer went only 5 innings. Is this what Max is now? And if so, is that enough for the Mets, at least in the regular season?
No, I don't think this is what Max is now. And you heard him after the game. I mean, he was happy with the strides that he made, but by no means was he satisfied and thinking that he's all the way back to where he wants to be. He certainly wants to go deeper in games, and I think he eventually will. You know, still trying to get that put-away pitch back to where it was. He still struggled to put guys away when he got up to 2 strikes, although he was better at it yesterday and felt like he made steps in the right direction. As to your second point, though, if this is Max Scherzer, is that good enough for the Mets? You know, I don't know. I mean, listen, they'll take 5 scoreless innings every time out from any starter, but I think the way that this current Mets pitching staff is set up, you know, the expectation, especially with what you're paying those guys, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, is that when those 2 are healthy and at the top of the order, or the top of the pitching rotation, they're going to be those dominant Hall of Fame type pitchers, and then everybody else, you know, you see if they can fall in line behind them. But I think you're going to need more from both of those guys, both in the regular season and certainly when we get to the postseason. So, listen, it's early. This is the type of thing that happens here where we analyze and micro-analyze each and every outing early on in the season. It was a step in the right direction for Max Scherzer, but I think he thinks there's more, and I think there will be more as he moves forward.